Reality.
UFOs.
Science.
Consciousness.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That might not be a real thing. The podcast.
Am I allowed to say a cool intro line, or you have something?
No, go for it. I don't got anything.
Just checking this time.
I just wanted to say how cool it is to have an outlet like this and just be able to talk in the airwaves to people.
It is dope. All right, ready? Here we go. We'll start over again.
All right,
Ready?
go ahead.
Spark in the joint. You know it's that kind. Diet Pepsi with a twist of lime. Get ready, everybody. It's podcast time. See?
That's pretty good.
It's a smooth rollout if you let me do it.
Pretty good, yeah.
Hey, what's
up,
going
guys?
on? What's going on, everyone? Danny D.
Danny D and
Say hello.
and Candyman, we're here. Just us.
Macka is now a homeowner and has spent the week in the laborious. It's just labor, really. It's labor.
Yeah.
It's stressful. It's labor intensive. Even if you're not physically moving the boxes, you got to organize.
You have a lot
shit.
of stuff.
I mean, you accumulate a lot of things, you know.
I guess, yeah.
And he lives with a roommate, and she's got a lot of shit. Now they're, two people moving into a new house.
So usually we have quite the crowded podcast. Well, we have like a guest, and Sean's here, and us three, and now it's just me and the Candyman tonight.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Every once in a while when it's just us.
Well, we got to chill out once in a while because we had a crazy podcast recently, and then we had a really great podcast recently.
So
I'm actually looking forward to trying CBD, like real good CBD in a joint.
Oh yeah,
I wanna do that.
Rocco and Kirby were all excited to hear the podcast last night.
They liked it.
Well, that remains to be seen, but they wanted to hear it. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure they
send it to us when it's ready. And I'm like, oh, you'll get it. But I went to the restaurant last week to do the tour. It's much bigger than what I had. Think Millhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was picturing a little.
No, they're not fucking around.
Little place.
So
wow.
what it is this is like it's the golf course. It's kind of like Grazie and Drake It.
I like Grazie.
Everybody does. It's a nice place.
My parents have
beautiful.
a wine locker there.
So basically, it's in Methuen, and they want to spruce it up because right now the current place is like it's nice, but it could be much better.
Right.
So Rock's walking me through, and he's like, boom, I'm going to move this thing over here. I'm going to knock down that wall. He's like, I built this wall over here. I'm going to put a little bar right here. Oh, look, I'm going to build a wraparound bar. Not a wraparound bar, but they have this deck, and it's just empty deck. Just like an open deck, nothing on it. No chairs, nothing. Just this
outside?
Big, yes. And it's what are you supposed to do out there? Everyone congregate on the deck and walk around? No one was there. Rock's like, I'm going to put a bar right here. He's like, I'm going to do a wraparound, sit down bar stools all around the whole deck. So everyone can just sit around and look and look out over the, he had great ideas. He wants
view.
Great view. They're definitely going to need some inspired ornamentals powered by Danny D.
Well, like I said before, just taking selfies of yourself in a.
Well, they're doing weddings.
Okay.
So and functions.
So if they want some really, really cool decor,
the bride might in the bridal suite, they might want some custom shit like the wall of roses done, So
see, you can't just go to the store and buy this stuff. This is custom. So I hope we do it for them. I hope.
I gave him your number. But
no, I haven't heard from them. But then again, they're busy.
Dude, they're super busy.
Yeah. So if they get to me in the next 4 or 6 months.
when I saw Rock at the thing, he was walking me through, and his phone was going off all the time, and he was telling me that the day before he wanted to just take his phone and just hit it with a 9-iron.
Why? Because construction people are calling
just
him.
Everything, dude. He's got so many irons in the fire, like the farm in Maine, the hemp boutiques, family, kids. We're gonna open this. We're gonna take over this massive restaurant.
It was a restaurant before,
so it's all there.
Yeah.
It's just not. It wasn't being run properly, not being staffed properly, and so now that they got these cool new management that they're taking over, and hopefully, hats off to them, and I'm gonna help them as much as I can. I went by and I'm like, man, what should I do here as a job to help out? And
are you gonna work there?
I told him I'll bartend maybe one night a week or 2 nights a week or something if they need it, or functions, or really they want to harness my pizzazz, my people skills. So I was like, I think my job should be is like something we don't have to have a title for it, I guess. You remember in Casino when Robert De Niro just kept changing his job title?
Yeah, you should walk around and just hang out.
Yeah, so like I don't know, somewhere between like master of ceremonies and like hospitality manager / like the guy you
that
tell
was on
when,
Casino.
the guy you tell when something's going on, you need someone to know about it. This is the guy you tell and he'll fix it, right? So like my job should be able to just walk around the whole place all day and all.
Well, make their life easier.
Shake people's hands, say, hey, what's going on? You having a good time? What's going on? What are you eating? What's this? What's that? Have you tried this out? Just basically make sure everyone's maximizing the experience and enjoying themselves, right?
Yeah.
So I was just be like,
lately I saw on social media somebody posting something about employment, like at Starbucks or something, where like they couldn't go into the store because there was an employee shortage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they were only doing pickup only.
That's been going on.
That's a reality right now, which we were talking about recently in the restaurant episode. But like this person was posting it like, fuck you, America. You're lazy. Like, why don't they go do it?
Well,
like, who are you talking to? You're not talking to me. Who are you talking to?
I can't speak about like Starbucks because they're a big corporation, right? But like,
yeah, fuck them. If they go out of business, what the fuck do I care about?
Well,
Starbucks?
Here's the thing, right? One of the big strategies that big companies used to use to put little companies out of business would be like Walmart would like come in, and it's called like economies of scale or whatever, but like, they'd come in and underprice everybody
like crazy
in the area because they had the ability to do so.
Right.
They were buying in such volume. They had more inventory at a better price and all sort of stuff. And then what happens is eventually they put out mom and pop stores all over the place, and then they're the only place to shop. So they kind of like already did that.
Right.
And like this is like the final phase of that. So like if big corporations do control the government and policies and stuff, like they're right now strangleholding small business and being like, okay, this is it. We're gonna put you out for good now. And
that's
then
why
the only ones who will be around will be like Starbucks. They'll be the only place you could get a coffee.
Well, but they're a big corporation too, though.
Because they get the money to like wait it out and hold it out. And
right.
Ride out the storm.
That's why I like companies like Hempire too, because they can. I just like these cool, like hip companies that like, because the mom and pop type companies for like hardware and bullshit like that is just non-existent compared to what it used to be. But these specialty shops will always be around, I think.
Who knows?
Yeah. Walmart's not going to be like the place to go for CBD. They might fucking jump in the bandwagon a little bit, but
I mean, they're definitely everyone's on that bandwagon.
Everybody. We were talking about it before, like CBD infused clothing. It's insane.
The hemp market is so big that no one would ignore it.
Well, hemp and CBD. CBD is hemp is a cool thing. Hemp, plastics.
Well, they're making the
fibers.
CBD from the hemp.
Well, they're making the CBD
then they
from the
use
hemp,
the plant, and they make biodiesel. They make plastics.
All
they make
sorts of stuff.
Fabrics. All kinds of shit.
Stuff that that was the reason why weed was like shut down to begin with, right? Was because of like the cotton industry and like.
What I'm saying to you is because of CBD, hemp farming became extremely profitable, and like.
Yeah.
I met these Indian dudes 2 years ago. We were looking at a big property we were going to try to start a cultivation facility there, and they basically wanted to turn it into like a giant campus with all these different cultivators, and Mass didn't allow it at the time, but
that's pretty cool.
But these Indian dudes, they pulled me aside.
An art cooperative.
Yeah, these Indian dudes pulled me aside after the fact, and they were like, hey guy, they're like, what do you know about growing feminized hemp seeds or whatever? And I was like, I mean I could do it. I'm like, it's not, we could get it done, but like, why you ask? And they were telling me that at one point last year or 2 years ago or whatever it was, and I'm not an economist, but these guys seemed like they knew what they were doing. They owned like a $25 million building. They told me an ounce of feminized hemp seed was worth more than an ounce of gold.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, you sure? And I mean, I know like with weed seeds, like when a new strain comes out, like sometimes they're like $100 a seed or 125 a seed. So like seeds are pretty tiny. You add up an ounce of that times 100.
And they're not all viable, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. When you pay $100 for the seed, that's supposed to be viable.
Pretty sure they're viable.
Yeah, it should be a viable seed.
Check it under a microscope or whatever.
I have no idea what the quality control is, but
I'm sure there's something.
It goes through a little machine that like basically if it's not the right size, or it won't fall through, and then it's kind of like a coin sorter. I've seen it, but
You know, I was thinking too on the way over here. I was playing my song of the week.
What is it?
My song of the week is "I Want to Be Somebody" by Wasp. Bad
Wasp.
song. Badass song. Like, I wanna be somebody. It's a pretty sweet song.
It is a good song.
They're a badass band.
Not a lot of people talk about them. They're like
No, but they were big though.
they were like lumped in with like Gore.
No,
And
but they sold a lot of albums though. Wasp.
what are their big hits?
I couldn't even name them off the top of my head. I know them. I'd have to look.
You know that one song.
Yeah, I know that one. It's not like Metallica though, where I could name off. You know, call off some of this stuff. Oh, they have a song called "Animal," and it's in parentheses "Fuck Like a Beast." Wild Child, Blind in Texas, Love Machine. You have a lot of cool songs.
Wasp. One of your favorite times of year is right around the corner. Halloween.
We were talking about that.
We're what, 6 weeks out?
I'm kind of like blah about Halloween this year.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
You've got a little ghost tattoo on your arm that's with a knife dripping blood and it says boo. We should put a photo of that on the IG.
Yeah, and I have like pumpkin patch, and I got like a haunted graveyard.
A significant amount of your tattoos are Halloweenish.
They all are.
So why are you bummed out about Halloween this
I'm
year?
not bummed out about Halloween this year. I got too much shit on my mind.
You're just not getting ramped up for it.
No.
You guys are going to go to Salem?
No, not for Halloween. It's too crazy. You can't even get close.
It is insane.
Yeah, you can't even get close. So we were just there the other day, and it was already getting ramped up. It was September.
Salem, Massachusetts, Salem witch trials. They attracted a lot of. It still attracts a lot of Halloween.
All year round.
It's probably a big economic driver for the town.
Oh, huge. Because they have like all the museums and like.
It's funny how things play out. You know, we were just talking about space time and history and what's real and what isn't. And,
yeah.
You know, etc. A couple hundred years ago, these women and a couple of men too, I guess. But
no, they were men. Yeah.
Yeah, witchcraft.
It was like 400 years ago.
It's whoever they decided it was. They would burn them at the stake in this town for witchcraft, and you had the Salem witch trials. It's a famous.
You could just say your neighbor's a witch, and that's it. Next week, you could be being called. They called you're a witch.
If you haven't heard of it, that's crazy. I mean, we've heard of it because we're from Mass, but it's a famous thing.
It is hallowed grounds. You can tell.
And so now, fast forward the camera. The town is using this as like a, hey, everybody, want to come to Salem where we used to burn these people for witchcraft?
now they're a witch town. So like they kind of celebrate it. Not the burnings. They celebrate being a witch, which is like had nothing to do with the witch burnings. Wiccan, yeah. There's like tourist traps, and then there's like real shops you can find, like real like small little places, and there's psychics in them, and like I buy sage because I smudge my house, and not that I believe it.
Just in case.
Just in case,
baby.
Just in case. We'll smudge the house. You know, I do walk around with crystals in my pocket occasionally. I don't think I have any right now.
Kira she lined the front of our house with some stones. I'm like, what are you doing? These shiny little polished rocks, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm putting a crystal seal protection around this house.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's like, we have to charge the crystals first. And I'm like, with what? She's like, sunlight and positive energy and stuff. I was like, oh, like the slime in Ghostbusters too, but she'd never seen it, so she had no idea.
Yeah, with the negative energy.
Yeah.
Like you can yell at it.
Yeah, but remember like they were doing the experiments with it, and they were like, we've been saying positive, supportive, nurturing things to it.
Yeah.
And the slime, like, oh yeah, like what was it like? Was it Egon who goes in and talks fresh to the slime, or is it Ray? He's like,
Ray.
oh baby, you looking so nice. You looking just.
And they start yelling at it.
Perfectly gelatinous, like you.
Yeah.
You despicable ooze.
You despicable ooze.
Those guys must have had a blast making those movies.
They're great movies. There's a new one coming out actually.
I saw.
Now it's not a remake or anything. It's
the kid from
it's Egon's grandkid, kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah, Mikey from Stranger Things.
So Egon's grandkid goes to his farmhouse and finds all his shit.
Finds basically in the attic like the proton packs.
Yeah,
and
proton packs in the
Ecto
garage.
ones like in the garage, right?
This is where he went to retire before he died.
It's like a farm community out in the middle of nowhere.
And actually, I saw some of the previews. Ray is going to be in it. Like, so she's going to like call Ray, and he's going to show up. He still owns the occult store. They call him at the end. He's like, Ray's occult. Yeah.
Dan,
that makes me so excited when they bring back stuff like that.
Dan Aykroyd really enjoyed. I saw him talk about it on YouTube because he's like a car enthusiast, I guess. I didn't know
He's
that.
a UFO enthusiast.
Yeah, he is. He's a ghost enthusiast, UFO enthusiast.
I could get along with him.
So I heard him talking on an interview, and I don't know where it was, but basically, like, he was saying that the scene in Ghostbusters when he's in the like sleeping and the
the ghost gives him
the
head.
Female ghost just unzips his pants.
They cut out a lot of that scene.
He said that basically happened to him in real life.
Oh, he did?
He said that it wasn't exactly that, but like he felt that like some kind of spirit of some kind snuggled up with him in bed and that they had some kind of sexual exchange.
That's awesome.
And that he knew it was going on, and he's like, okay. He's like, he was like in bed, and like he felt something get into bed with him, and there was nothing there, and he's like, okay. He's like, this is probably just like a ghost or whatever, like where a normal person would have been freaking the fuck out. But I mean, maybe they were pleasuring him in ways we didn't understand.
It's hushy.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know,
well,
who knows what
that's
non-corporeal being could do to you,
Yeah.
your pleasure system.
Class 4 vapor.
Yeah, we got a class 4 vapor.
Hey, that scene.
real nasty one too.
Real nasty one, too. If you see that scene, he's wearing a Civil War era outfit in bed. Because in that scene, it has something to do with some Civil War era ghost or something. But they cut a lot of that scene. Yeah. So for some reason, he's wearing Civil War garb. Which is really weird.
You think that Sigourney Weaver's hotter in Ghostbusters or
an Alien?
No, I wasn't gonna say Alien. I was gonna say
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest, because that I think
she's hotter in Galaxy Quest.
I think that most people, that's like the one they say is like she's the hottest.
I think a lot of people don't think she's hot for some reason. I think she is
in Galaxy Quest.
Well, no, in Galaxy Quest she's supposed to be hot, but in other movies she's kind of androgynous in a way, like. She's unique, you know, like she's
like, yeah, I can understand like in Gorillas in the Mist she wasn't like super sexy.
She's not usually like done up sexy.
Speaking of, I'm just receiving.
Is it a gorilla?
It's a tiger. It's the Costa Rican.
You know, if I was rich, I'd definitely have a pet tiger. I'd have like a snow leopard. I'd have like a giant anaconda.
That's a meme. That's bullshit. Someone was talking to me about giant cat the other day because I live with a giant dog, and I picked panther. I figured,
really?
I was like, I think panther would suit me.
Yeah.
Like the Beastmaster, he had a panther. Remember?
Right.
Beastmaster was is that a cult classic movie that considered a cult classic?
Which movie? Beastmaster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made two of them. The same dude was it the Beastmaster in both of them, or did they switch actors?
I don't remember.
I know the bad guy. His name was.
It's been a long time.
Rip Torn.
Was it?
And yeah, and then
there's an actor named Rip Torn.
That's the guy. He played Patches O'Houlihan in Dodgeball, and then he played in Freddy Got Fingered, the dad or whatever.
My dad fingered me.
But I think that dude's dead. Rip Torn.
Rip Torn might be dead.
I think he died.
Yeah.
But that was his name. Rip.
He was in like Men in Black.
Yeah, that's right. He was Zed.
Zed, yeah.
Is he like the?
He was like the head.
The head of the MIBs.
Yep. Because they called him by a letter, and Zed was Z in English.
Yeah.
You know, that's weird. They say H and they say Zed. It's weird.
Men in Black is 4 movies. They did. They did the 3 with the boys.
They came out with one recently.
Will Smith and the chick made one.
Yeah, but then they came out with one with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith recently. They both came back.
I think there's a girl that takes like this.
Yeah, there was, but then they came out with one like 10 years later. So it's like 2017 they came out with one.
I was thinking about Independence Day this week.
Oh, Independence Day too. I like that.
See
the new one?
I saw the second one. It was I don't know.
The aliens come back.
It was too much.
Yeah.
Like the first one was great. Right?
It had a different vibe.
We
saw it in the movie theater like 10 times when we were kids. Remember?
War of the Worlds, basically, I think in the book, or definitely in the movie, which is kind of ridiculous. These aliens, the extraterrestrials, like they've either been, the story's like they've been underground waiting for like in stasis for like 1,000 years or something, and they just come up out of the ground and harvest us when we're ready. But whatever the plot was, they end up dying in like 2 weeks because of like the common cold, and they didn't have the immunity to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm like, that's preposterous. I was like, any civilization that would figure out that they could like get a whole army here and bury it under our noses would probably understand basic concept of like, immunization and
It's like,
protocols and stuff like that.
It's like in the movie Signs, their water kills the aliens, which is so stupid.
Yeah, because it's like the most natural element of life possible.
You'd think they'd at least like, be weary of the humans and their squirt guns.
The last place they'd go is this blue planet loaded with water. You know what I mean?
Stupid.
But yeah, I liked Independence Day because like they ended up taking the aliens down with a computer virus, which was cool because like at our, we grew up really like in the time of like hackers.
So
really,
this is in the 90s when hacking was like in its infancy.
Yeah, I mean,
people were hackers then though.
Imagine like the shit that went on like early, people don't get it. Like the internet, I believe, was really laid down. Like the initial grid was laid down sometime in like the 60s during the Cold War.
Yeah, well, and they also did it in colleges too. They didn't have the World Wide Web and browsers, but they had an internet.
They had a
network.
They had a network, yeah.
Yeah, network of networks is what the internet is.
And right, it's the World Wide Web.
Well, the World Wide Web didn't come out till later.
Right, but what I'm saying is the groundwork, the infrastructure of what would become the internet started in the 60s with like the trying to keep information nukes and stuff like that.
Right.
It was basically like a redundancy to hardline that like the military could communicate, underground, whatever.
Yeah.
But people were building it. The technology existed. There were guys out there that knew how to operate it. They worked for whoever the fuck they worked for, like Toshiba or some Japanese
But regular
company.
people did not have access to it in their home.
But like but what I'm saying to you is like, what kind of crazy internet shit do you think the dudes that knew how to hack were doing in like the 80s before anyone was even watching it?
Well, they were probably no firewalls and like they were all back doors.
Dude, they knew how to do everything. They built it. Like those guys from the 60s, 20 years later in the 80s, they probably had money.
They built a hot chick with their computer.
If they did that,
Weird
they
Science.
deserve a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, Weird Science.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the film.
All right.
Come on, Oingo Boingo, you love it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. She was hot too. Boy,
Lisa?
Lisa. Yeah.
From Bam, Weird Science.
And they were like so young and like didn't know what to do with her. She was showering and stuff with him. That was like a young man's fantasy to create some sex bot from your computer.
But for a guy like me, that was a great movie. I was like, cool, nerds that have a sexy chick. You can have them both. I was like, you can do it, guys. Let's go get it.
And it was like one classic like 80s actor too. What was his name? The blonde kid.
Not one of the Coreys.
No. He was in. I don't know his name. He was in everything. He was in like.
Corey Feldman's a cool guy. I don't care what it is.
I like Corey Feldman. Some people think he's trolling us with like his dancing and shit and his music, but I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I think he's just all fucked up from being a child actor and everybody's saying yes to him. I met him and Corey Haim at a party in New Jersey.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God. And it was right before Corey Haim died, like not long before.
He was going down the tubes.
He looked fine to me, but I don't know. He probably was, yeah. And I met some of the actors from the movie The Lost Boys. One of them was one of the vampires in The Lost Boys, and he looked great. Like, he looked just like he was just in the movie. One of the really good-looking guys.
The guy that ends up being the head vampire in that movie is like a goon.
Oh, what do you mean?
He's like the big nerdy guy, and he dates the mom. But they invite him in the house so he can come in.
When he turns into a vampire,
he eats the garlic.
Yeah, when he turns into a vampire, it's
like,
really creepy.
He's like, garlic? I would love some.
I would love some garlic.
Thank you.
I'm not trying to replace your father.
Oh, but that guy, the actual actor that played him, was just like, I
think he's still alive.
I think so.
Pretty sure. It's really weird that in the 80s, if you were middle-aged in the 80s in movies, you are probably elderly or dead now.
Yeah.
But I just watched a Clint Eastwood movie today, and he's still kicking it. He's just really old.
That's how it works.
It sucks. Doesn't seem like that long ago.
Vala Magulis.
It isn't that long ago. I was 8 years old when 1990 happened, and that was 30 years ago.
I was 10.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What are you going to be, 40 next year?
I'm going to be 39 in like 6 weeks.
So yeah, next year.
The reason why I know that is because I get surgery 2 days before, and I'm like counting down. I don't give a fuck about my birthday. I'm counting down to my surgery because I want to get it done.
But it's also your birthday, so that's the other reason you know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's coming up. So I'll be 39. So yeah, one more year. I want a 40th birthday. I want like a party.
You
I
want
told Kingsley I want like a party.
who gets
Like
to go?
everybody I know.
We're gonna invite everyone.
Everyone.
I hope so.
Yeah, we're just gonna open up a hall, and there's gonna be
We could
I want to
have
have an '80s band that plays '80s music.
We could have it at the Methuen Country Club golf course
there
thing.
you go.
I think it's called the Merrimack Valley Golf Course.
Is it?
We'll have to look it up, but we could have it at Kirby's function hall.
Yeah, I just want to have I have access to some like '80s cover bands we can bring and stuff, and like, yeah.
All right,
I know a few. So yeah.
So off the show, off air, on the texting that goes on between us, whatever. You've decided now that, all right, stuff it. I'm gonna smoke some weed one show and just.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Cause I don't smoke weed, so like.
So it should
I'm
hit you like
completely clean and sober.
It should hit you like a punch in the face.
Yeah, I'm completely clean and sober. So anything I do that's different than like anything that I add to myself, like caffeine, anything, I feel it.
Bam.
So I'm gonna be stoned off my ass when I smoke a joint.
I can't wait to scientific.
Yeah, but I don't want to like push it because I don't want to have to drive home like that because I'm not used to it.
No. We'll make sure King is here because she's gonna want to be part of that, and then we'll have Sean.
But it's funny how you guys can smoke a joint like it's nothing, and I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna fucking ruin my whole night.
I mean, it's not nothing.
I don't know if it's gonna ruin my night, but I'm definitely gonna be incapacitated.
I'm definitely baked. You know what I mean?
I'll probably go home and just lay down and go to sleep.
Well,
we're gonna do it though.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think we should do it right at the beginning of the show so you guys can get me talking about it.
No, I want to do it how, like, I was thinking about it this week. I was like, okay, this is how it's going to go down. Maybe we shouldn't say it on air, but we will anyway.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Because I'm going to give you a 5. We're going to reverse roles, essentially, okay?
You want me to light it up?
I'm going to go in 5, 4, 3.
And then I light it up.
You're going to light it up.
Yes.
And you're going to be like, hey, everybody, it's Danny D. I'm smoking weed. Deal with it. and then...
that could be one of our best openings ever. That's hilarious.
I think it'd be a good one.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do.
Well, let's do it soon then.
Yeah. What's the schedule? When's the surgery? November 10th?
November 10th.
So before then.
Before then, yeah.
All right. So
let's do it before then.
Let's just set some mild goals for the team.
November 10th is like a Wednesday, so I might be out that Sunday because I won't be able to talk. But
listen, people in the audience, goal setting is an important thing in life, and it's an important thing that I want to pass on the show.
Yeah.
Our goals are, and you don't always have to hit your goals.
No.
But you should have some goals.
I have mini goals, and for the last maybe 10 years, I've had mini goals, and I have long-term goals.
Yeah.
And I've hit a lot of them just by having the goals and keeping them.
You divide it up as you can divide up your goals and lengthen out your goals however you want. You could have like a 5-year goal, then 1-year goals, and 1-month goals, and daily goals, and you can, like addicts have 1-hour goals, right? They're like, I'm gonna get through this hour without getting fucked up. And now, eventually they can lengthen it out, but
like some of them take a while, and like you don't feel like the end is in sight. Like my surgery stuff is gonna take 10 months of doing it.
Yeah,
3 surgeries.
But that initial initial surgery to get the teeth.
Initial surgery is gonna be a relief, but it's gonna take 10 months before I'm finally done with it. So like, I gotta like keep that goal in front of me without like getting too impatient about it and getting anxious about it. Because like other goals, I can control a little bit better. This one I can't.
Well, our goal is to get a Halloween episode cranked out.
Halloween episode's coming.
And to sneak in a
weed episode.
Danny D starting the show off with a joint episode.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that. Starting the show off.
Reverse roles. Mm-hmm. People love it. Whoa, well, look at this. These guys just switched up. Yeah. They're doing what the other guy used to do.
And then just wait like 5 minutes into the show. You're going to look over at me and I'm going to be like a fucking Jello bowl.
Well, see, one thing, when you smoke weed, your mind is, your perception is altered. That's a fact, okay?
And I'm not used to that.
Fine. But it opens you up to things that you ordinarily wouldn't be opened to. So like,
it makes me paranoid too.
It can. You can lose it. I'll
never lose it.
You got to control it.
Yeah, I'll never lose it completely. I'll just sit there paranoid for a while.
Lots of drugs can make you paranoid. You just got to be able to control it.
I'm not gonna like fucking wig out.
You got to control your breathing.
I'll be fine, and it's just in my head. I'll be like internalizing all this paranoia.
Well, I'm just saying, what happens is you start seeing things on a very like conceptual, basic level. Yeah. So like, I'm able to like break comedy down and other things down into like their most basic form. Like.
See, you could do that because you're used to doing it. Though I might just be really like like a soup in my brain.
Like the idea for us to switch roles just was so naturally came to me because I was like, oh yeah, classic. People love that.
The old switcheroo.
The old switcheroo, yeah. And it's like, if you look at like the stuff that amuses people, it's like the same basic things. It's like hide and go seek, peekaboo, the switcheroo.
Yeah.
These are all little like basic baby games that like we basically like carry on into adulthood, but like with more elaborate things, like like surprise, you won this, or oh, you lost, you got five. It's just life is like, we love a surprise or a switcheroo or being caught off guard. It's like that's what gets us going.
Yeah.
It's like,
can I do a shout out?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
So
you're co-host and executive producer of this show.
So a shout out to the Agony, our wrestling friend. Yeah, he posted a cool picture of himself in a test of strength with some guy, and it looks like he's doing well. I don't know. He's wrestling a lot, it seems.
Do you? Well, he had a period obviously where he couldn't, and then he was fucking. I don't know if he was depressed, but I think he was bummed out.
Look at that. Now check out this picture.
Oh, dude, I got the picture. I follow him on Instagram, cool. And I play video games with him, so I talk to him on the reg. Did you see the one with him in like the Toxic Avenger outfit? He has these like characters that he.
Yeah, he's a toxic champion.
We gotta get you two hooked up.
We should get him on
for a variety of reasons.
Yeah,
we get him to call into the show.
Yeah,
because then he lives in Florida.
Yeah,
so he can call into the show and be on the show. But we gotta get you guys hooked up. He's a long hair.
Well, I'm friends with him on Instagram, but other than that, we don't talk or anything. But
yeah, but we got to get you communicating. Because listen, he's a long hair.
Yeah.
He also, he's not on your level by any means. He basically needs your expertise and advice.
He builds stuff.
He makes his own little props and gimmicks for the show.
Well, the belt looked cool that he had.
He puts a lot of work into it. But like, if he had like your experience to guide him, be like, oh, you don't want to use that type of resin or this. Yeah. Even though YouTube's obviously amazing.
Well, it is, but there's still a.
But he's a long hair, and he's a buddy. You guys gotta hook up.
You can learn through YouTube and things like that. It just might take you 10 years to really become proficient.
You told me you can't post things on our Instagram for some reason.
I'm not on the Instagram, so I don't have an account on it. You know what I mean? You're just friends with.
Oh, the Agony.
I'm friends with them on my page.
On your page? Oh,
I have a couple of Instagram pages, and one of them I'm friends with.
Then message him and say, hey, it's Danny D.
We should have him on the show.
Yeah, but tell him, hey, man, I'm friends with Valhalla.
I think he knows.
That's how he knows me.
I think he knows. I told him I liked your vest when he posted his new vest.
Oh, you probably got...
Yeah, I think he knows.
You probably got... you gave him a boner if you said that to him.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I think he knows.
How about the kid that used to work at the restaurant?
Jesus, that fucked
becoming a wrestler.
Now it just proves back then we were dicks, but I would never ever belittle somebody's dreams today. If somebody says they have a dream of doing something, I will only support it.
That's a good thing to do.
Yeah, because back in the day, we would hear a dream that somebody had and we'd be like, you can't do that.
Don't let me in on that.
Yeah.
I'm not part of that.
Well, people...
Maybe once in a while. I don't know.
Maybe once in a while, but I don't think you were as... You weren't as nice back then as you are now, and supportive as you are now.
To you, I was, though.
Not always.
Really?
No, there's...
Whoa.
Wait, let's go through this.
Talking about the progression of our relationship.
Yeah,
There's
at the beginning, when I was in the 4th grade, 5th grade, and I'd come up to Maine, it was... You had a soft spot for me, but you'd also have times where you just wanted to chase me around the beach to throw me in the water for 2 hours. And you never gave up. I would run on the beach hiding from you for ever. And I look around the corner and you're still there looking for me.
I couldn't catch you.
No, you couldn't. You never caught me.
Fast as fuck.
You never caught me. And then they would jump off a bridge, a fucking bridge, 30 feet in the air, 40-foot bridge. And I was probably 10, my son's age. And you guys are you pussy, you don't want to jump. I'm of course I didn't want to jump. I was 10 years old.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But I used to go down.
And I wasn't a great swimmer either, so it wasn't a good idea.
I used to go down and check under the bridge and get in the water first and go underwater and make sure there wasn't anything rocks or people would people would throw shopping carts, all kinds of shit
even
there.
Still, that's how deep was it? Pretty deep.
Just deep enough to jump off in.
Yeah, that was one of the
15 feet deep tops.
That was one of the situations where kids die.
You can get hurt.
Yeah. Who is that guy he was blonde hair?
Chad?
Chad.
Chad loves the show.
Not Chad Gregory.
Yeah.
No. I know. I love Chad. I'm not talking about Chad. Oh. He was one of your friends. He was always getting in trouble. And
Keith Lee.
Yeah. He carried knives on him and stuff. Yeah.
He hasn't changed.
He hasn't changed at all?
Nope. Do you want to know something? First of all, him and I met, we were like, him and I were like 13, and he was like I think he had been to juvie.
Yeah, he was like a tough kid, like in trouble and stuff. And
yeah.
You love.
But him and I met, and
he was dangerous.
Him and I met, and we were just like, hey, I feel like we should probably hang out and get into trouble together.
Did his family have a house up there or something?
His mom and dad were divorced, so like he was, whatever. He had a lot of, he was a troublemaking kid, but he's a good kid. He's an awesome dude. So he does paving now.
Really?
Like pretty professionally. Like he goes all over the country. He works for a pretty big company, and they do, like...
You still talk to him?
Yeah. They do... I talk to all my main friends. Yeah. Most of them. Plus with the internet.
Like Steve Orgo and stuff? You talk to those guys?
Totally. Shout out to the Orgo family.
I liked him.
They're doing great. Him and his family are doing great.
There were a lot of kids, right? Didn't they have a lot of kids?
His brother moved to Maine and opened a catering business and won like, all these...
Dana?
No, that's a cousin.
That's
Nikki.
His cousin?
Slick Nick.
Oh.
Slick Nick, baby. Oh. And they just had a baby girl, and there's all kinds of kids happening, and everybody's good. They're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my summer family, basically, my summer friends. It was weird for you guys, too, because you were like our neighbors. We hung out all year, but then we'd be like, all right, I'll see you guys later. We're going to Maine. And then, we'd come back, and we'd be like, the summer was over. You know what I mean?
We'd go up though for like a week or two at a time.
But what I was gonna say about Keith Lee was he named his son Tommy after Tommy Lee.
Oh really?
And that was a while back. That kid's probably like 14 now.
Oh. Yeah, I remember this kid. I just remember being like one of those older kids that was just seemed semi-dangerous. Like.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was the real thing. He still is. He's the best. I love that fucking dude.
It's weird, those memories. They're fleeting, but I have memories of. Just even in my childhood, like before I even met you guys, like in Lowell and stuff, like there was a time when I used to walk all around Lowell as a kid, probably my son Teddy's age, all over Lowell.
Belvedere and down.
Well, and I went further than that though.
I hear you.
I went to like Tucketville and like everywhere.
No, I hear you.
So anyways, I'd walk all over, and then like when we moved to Drake, it got a little bit more like protective, like, but even though me and you like explored the woods and like we got lost in trails.
It's a different type of danger.
Yeah, there were open wells everywhere. Like we found open wells.
Yeah, we would just, hey, see you guys.
It was so deep in the woods and these old horse trails that like we'd find an open well from like the 1800s that like nobody's seen in years.
No GPS, no cell phones. Be like, see you later, mom and dad. We're going in the woods for about, I don't know, 6 hours.
Yeah.
We might come back before dark. We might not.
We'll
find our way home.
Obviously, we made it back, but I don't know how.
How? I have no idea.
Because those woods are deep. Now there's all houses there.
Dude, we were in deep woods for hours.
Deep.
Every survival show in the world is like, this is dangerous. You can get disoriented. It all looks the same, whatever. Yeah. But they were like, it was just where we played.
We did have trails, though. But they were so long and diverse that like...
You could say that we were like an indigenous people to those woods. And we knew them like the people.
We did at one point,
because, clearly we never really got... I don't really ever remember getting lost.
I wonder if there's still a trail that goes from the back to the Long Pond. There was a trail back then.
Those are game trails, dude.
They're still there?
Those are from animals. That's how they're there.
Well, I thought it was great when I was a kid because we'd come up to like a baseball field from the camp in the middle of the woods. You just all of a sudden come out and there's tennis courts, baseball, and there's like a rope swing, and then you get to the water.
It was like a weird thing as a kid to go through that, like a forest, come up at this like man-made place
right
inside the forest, but like,
yeah,
you just got there,
Yeah, and like I came from Lowell too, so like.
Oh, that must have been like.
So it was like going into like fucking Alaska for me.
It must have been
when
like
we first moved there.
the rainforest.
It was great. Yeah,
it must have been like nature everywhere. Huh?
Yeah.
Good times.
I remember when we moved there, it was so big to us that like we all slept in the same room because we were scared.
You mean like you're
like
so
the house
far?
Was so big.
You're so
the house
far
was
away.
So big compared to the house in Lowell that like.
Well, you don't have.
We weren't used to it.
You don't have the space. You don't have the space like in between properties
in Lowell.
Like
no, you hop your fence and there's people right there.
Where my neighbors literally are fence. They share the fence, right?
It was more like that, yeah.
So like I have like like some weed plants growing in my backyard right now, and literally the whole neighborhood is dealing with it, and I told them all at the beginning of the season, I was like, hey, I'm planting these plants out here, and we're legally allowed to do this many, and I'm gonna do it, and I know it sucks, but it's gonna stink.
Did anybody care?
No, I told them all I'd give them a zip, I'm like, everybody gets an ounce for the
give it to old ladies. It's good for glaucoma too.
Essentially, it was when Han Solo's walking out of the cantina and he just throws the gold chip at the guy and he says, sorry about the mess.
Sorry about the mess.
That's basically what I'm saying to them. I'm like, here's an ounce of weed. Sorry about the smell.
Now,
like,
some of the girls up in Maine, I don't remember any of the names.
Oh, that's where I learned it's my first everything up there.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember you hooking up with a chick and me and Mike jumping into the water in wetsuits so we could try and see through the window of the boat.
The cabin of the
boat. What if your
boat.
dad came by and caught you in that boat? You were like 14 years old.
He'd probably be happy about it, but like yell at me.
Yeah.
What would you do if you found your 14-year-old son hooking up with a hot babe? You'd be like, hey, get out of there. You don't stop doing that.
Yeah, I don't want that in my house. But
at the same time,
like,
you'd be like,
all right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, my boys are different. I have a daughter.
Yeah, well, I have a daughter too, and you gotta just saying for the people out there, if you want the sexes to be equal and you want to get rid of the gender roles, it's like, it's a struggle, man. Like I leave, she's home alone while I'm out recording this podcast, and she's my kid. She's sly, she's sharp.
Well, I want people to do whatever they want to do. If they want to like fit their gender roles, traditional gender roles, I don't have a problem with that.
What I'm saying is she could be sneaking in boys right now, right?
You think so?
Wow, she's 15.
Well, you were pretty sneaky. You got caught a lot, but like that's because of statistics.
I got caught like twice.
No, I know. I'm saying that's enough though. Like you got caught more than twice. Come on.
I'm talking about sneaking out of my parents' house.
Oh,
I got caught one time.
I'm saying you got caught having sex as a young man.
I've been caught by my mom when
you got caught with your girlfriend in high school.
In my sister's bedroom. Yeah, my mother was crying. My girlfriend was crying. My father called me. He's like, what the hell's going on over there? I was like, I was like, nothing. He was like, your mom told me you guys were bare ass. I was like, we were, like, I don't know what
She was dealing with that with you from like 13 on, right? Like the second you hit puberty, you were already sleeping with chicks.
That lady deserves some kind of something. She gets an award for like, what do they canonize a saint? Is that what they call it in the Catholic? She deserves a saint's award.
Well, the ones that did become saints don't deserve it, so she does though.
She does. That's all. That's
like Mother Teresa, like suffering, and she was just a horrible person.
Really?
You never heard that?
I know that a lot of religious people
loves
like,
suffering. She didn't want to get pain pills.
Masochists.
Yeah, she was a masochist.
They whip themselves in the back.
No, okay. She was a sadist. She was a sadist.
Some people are both.
Look it up.
Sadomasochists.
Yeah, no, she didn't want to inflict pain on herself. She wanted to inflict pain on others.
No, that's a huge religious Catholic thing. Period. I don't even think it has anything to do with Catholicism. I think it's just people, right? So like.
Yeah, but they sainted her. They called her Mother Teresa.
Well, whatever, But what I'm saying is like 3,000 years ago, whatever the fuck, the Aztecs, whoever was living in South America, they were sacrificing people to the sun god and this, that, and the other thing. There were some priests that probably got involved in those religions that were trying to like do good and like actually help the people, and then some that probably got caught on like major power trips and like realized they could like get chicks to suck them off or boys to suck them off, or have their way with whoever they wanted because they were in the religion. And it's power, dude. Religion.
It always seemed to us like when we were kids that you knew what you were doing with chicks.
I'll tell you what.
If some of it was bullshit, was it? Or did you were you just filling in the blanks for yourself? Like,
part of it was that I was.
Usually guys are awkward at that age.
Yeah, well, I grew up with some cool cousins that were like kind of studs.
Yeah.
And I was like, these guys, I kind of like my cousin Mike, my cousin Greg, even my cousin Nick. Now, mind you, fast forward the clock to today, and these same people look at me like I'm the man. But when I was a kid, these guys were like the guys. Okay.
Yeah. And, but even still, like.
It was macho, though. It was a lot of machoism.
Yeah.
I'm more of a sensitive type. They're sensitive guys, too, those three guys. But what I'm saying is this was very macho behavior. And so I think a little bit was that, but like I didn't like sports either, but I knew I liked chicks. So like when we were like kids, I'd go to like the bookstore and I would get like a book on like whatever the people had, like instructional sex manuals at the bookstore, because we didn't have the internet. You didn't look it up on YouTube. We didn't have online porn. You went to the God's damned bookstore.
It was like you were dedicated to being good at this.
So yeah, I just had a calling early on in my life that I was like, yo, I'm gonna learn how to do this because this seems like something it seems like something I'm interested in. You know, why does anyone do anything?
But a lot of people interested in it, just
yeah, but you have
they
like
can't get past their own insecurities.
Yeah, but you have like
inhibitions.
You just have, it's just energy and time and that and also natural ability, right? So it's like anything, right? Like
well, you practice at anything, you're gonna get good. You can get good at it.
Yes, but
you're not just born with talent.
You
can be
you are
some ways.
You are born with some talent.
Some.
Don't get me wrong.
No, some.
But at the end of the day, there has to be an internal drive that says, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put effort into this.
Right.
And so when you put effort into shit, you eventually, it's action reactions, Newton's second law of motion,
Right.
It's, my father says, you get what you give. He says it all the time. It's one of his one-liners. Yeah. And, this week Akira was doing, she's having some bullshit going on at school sports, and the old man lost it at the BG Arena this week, Dan.
Oh no!
Right in the middle of the JV volleyball game, girls JV volleyball game. Oh
God!
He starts yelling at the ref, and I'm like, oh God, just Jesus, take it easy, man. Then my kid is like,
about what? Like a ball on the line?
Every play, every single play. I'm talking every.
I remember him doing that to like coaches and stuff, like,
so
what, this coach is a fucking idiot, you know what I
so
mean?
Then like, he has to yell at the coach after the game. He's wicked hostile towards her.
Like, is he a volleyball expert?
No, but he knows sports. He knows athletics. He knows coaching. I told him this week, I was like, your problem is, Pop? I'm like, you're so smart that you're like off the charts compared to regular people. And that, like, for you to have to cope with, like, dealing with regular people is, like, emotionally taxing on you because they just don't get what you get. They're not putting everything together.
But this is a coach. What does he think when somebody's grandfather's shitting on him?
No, this girl sucks. But exactly. I was like, Dad, I'm like,
cool. Oh, it's a girl coach?
Yeah. And I'm like, cool out, man. I'm like, yeah, she fucked up. She lost the game for the team, no question. And
the coach did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She keeps taking my kid out at like critical roles. Like, my kid's the best server on the team, and she took her out twice before she was supposed to serve. One time after she just like had a gnarly like turnaround point where she like stopped the momentum of the other team, basically scoring on them, and then was about to
take her out.
And and so she also plays this on the AAU national team, which is like 10 times more competitive. So I was talking to her this week, and I was like, dude, put your energy into that, right? And when you go to your high school game, just play for fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? Support, work hard at practice.
Does it bother her that Papa was up there yelling and screaming?
I think it's definitely...
It's embarrassing, right?
No. She said something herself to the coach like the week before and then got benched for it. So this chick, whoever the coach is just like, she's not, she shouldn't be coaching high school sports. But I'm just saying to my kid, I'm like, you're in this wicked competitive AAU National League. Put your effort into that. You know what I mean? Put your heart into that. I was like, when you go to this other league where this coach is clearly out to, just gonzo, I was like, you won't get angry if you don't have emotional stock in it. You know what
grade is she in? She's a freshman?
She's a freshman. She's
okay, so she's still got more time, but...
Well, she's playing up, too, so so she's like, takes it seriously.
She's got plenty of time. She'll probably get a college scholarship for volleyball.
That's the goal, baby.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Isn't that crazy that, like, you're good at sports and you can get a scholarship for it? Like, how does that have anything to do with academics? Maybe you should like get a free ride to play, but not like a free ride to go to school. Like, how is that possible that regular kids get just because they're fucking
because school
not built the same?
Schools are like not just schools; like the sports go with them. So like,
yeah, then maybe they should get paid.
So like, it's like the Celtics and the Lakers. I don't know how they are this year, but they're basketball dynasties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they?
Well, especially the Lakers, yeah.
And it's not just because they've been around the longest. They were gnarly in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s.
Well, actually, not just especially the Lakers. I think the Celtics have more championships, but yeah.
But I'm saying those two teams have been around a long time themselves. Right. So like people could say like, well, no one's got more championships than these guys. But like if the other teams didn't come along for 25 more years, like, yeah, no shit.
The Bucks just won.
But what I'm saying is that those guys are dynasties, right? So there's a certain thing that comes with that. And like colleges are like that with their sports, and high schools are like that with their sports. Like especially out in like fucking Texas and Florida and stuff.
I just think it's kind of a travesty when like people like you hurt your knees and like you lose your scholarship and you have to like take out student loans. It's fucked up.
I don't know if that's still.
I don't know.
I think if you get in,
unless you're really handicapped, then you get a full scholarship. But if you're just like regular person, you're just kind of fucked for college.
Sorry, man, it's tough out there.
And it's just not fair. It's stupid.
I tell the kids not to go until they're 25.
That's why I think they should. I've argued with people with this about how like they don't want them to like.
You got
forgive their student loans.
Yeah.
But like, I love my student loans forgiven. I still have 30 grand. Oh no, maybe 18 now. 18. Yeah, but I started off with like 45.
Student loans bankrupt this country.
So stupid. I don't even need my. I'll sell them back my degree for cheaper than I paid for it. You know what I mean? Like I don't even need it. Like I will renounce it.
Unfortunately,
you should be able to renounce it.
Knowledge doesn't work. Knowledge doesn't work that way. You should be able to.
I don't remember shit.
I think you're coming up with a really good. You're coming up with a really good concept right now and hitting on a really big thing. Like, think how much fucking money people invest in this education that's supposed to like guarantee this like outcome, right?
Yeah, they used to make it seem like you finish college and right away they're looking to hire you. Like
now they are.
Well.
With a job shortage.
Maybe I should walk into interviews fucking corporate with my piercings and my hair out and stuff, and I bet they'd be like, yeah, we need people. They don't care.
It's funny how times change.
Well, I've kind of like we said it last week. Last week I said that like, as you guys were like, oh, if, you know, do you hate your job on Facebook, whatever that?
No,
And I'm like, no, I only do things that I love.
Yeah.
And like, that's really a hard rule of mine these days. Like, cause like, I've kind of like excluded myself from like corporate jobs. Like I can't get them. I don't look the right way for them. Like
no,
at all.
No.
So like I've done that on purpose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, partly it's just like you being who you are.
Well, that's true too.
If you want to go work at this place, you have to all of a sudden like change everything about you. But I mean,
like I've heard people here like, oh, they have to cut their hair to get this job.
I mean,
fuck
dude,
you.
It's everywhere though. Even at the restaurant, like the waitresses aren't allowed to have like nose rings and piercings.
Who gives a shit?
Well, nobody really. But
I don't either.
People that own the restaurant, they like still old school people, and they're like, you can't have that anymore. I'm like, nobody cares.
Nobody cares if they have that.
I was like, it's like if you're nice and you're a good, attentive server.
What do I care if she has a nose ring on?
I could give a shit.
Trust me, they don't fall out ever.
And don't get me wrong, like attractive people are better than unattractive people when you're like dealing with like the public. But like, that's just sex sells. I mean, that's been going on forever.
Yes.
But like the piercings and the tattoos and all the other bullshit, it's like, give me a break, man. Like, that's what people look like. That's real life.
Yeah, and
is that going to become a saying on a show now? That's real life. That's real life. It has to be.
That could be our like spin-off show. That's real life. I have this weird thing. Like, if I had to do something else, I would try and get into advertising.
Really?
Copywriting for advertising, doing like coming up with slogans and advertising for products. I don't know, something about that. I like that, and I'm snappy. Like, you know,
my cousin Courtney works in marketing. So
really?
We're talking about marketing.
Yeah, marketing, advertising.
Yeah, it's like what I was talking about earlier with the games that we like to play. Like, there's advertising's got like 10 good tricks. It's like make something sound cool that rhymes.
Yeah, 99 cents.
Do a play on words.
Yeah.
Like
use celebrities, use music.
Sex,
use sex, yeah.
Booze, tobacco, music.
Make something artsy.
Yeah. It's the same tricks over and over again, but like we like keep falling for them.
I got asked this week to from a goth modeling company to become one of their ambassadors, you know?
Ooh.
And I look into it and I'm like, at first it was like too good to be true. And I looked into it and I'm like, they only sell women's clothes. I'm like, so what are they talking about? So finally I realized that it was just, they just send it out to anybody they think. And they're just looking for hits. Like they weren't actually like serious about like personally contacting me.
Well,
That's a disappointment.
That's bullshit. Because they were coming to the right guy, but
That's what I'm saying. Like I was like, oh, they must have found me. Like
you could have made them a gargoyle in 2 seconds.
yeah, I could have.
Let me switch it up for a minute because
Yeah.
you just reminded me of goth. Right now, you're married and you've been married for a while, but prior to that, you definitely rubbed one out to some internet porn at one point or another in your life.
I still do that.
You
Yeah.
do?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I gotta clean the pipes.
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes twice a day, and then I don't have sex that night.
You're an animal.
I'm an animal, yeah, and I'm almost 40 years old.
I'm a one a day kind of guy because I'm not a young man anymore.
Well, I'm only a little bit younger.
And yeah, but I'm taxed.
I think you've taxed like completely, like
That system's been,
The
that
system-
my reproductive system's got
Yeah.
like 300,000 miles on it compared
Yeah.
to like
That's the problem.
50,000 miles of the rest of the vehicle.
that's the problem. Mine's still like fresh. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm like a broken-in car.
right. Yours was preserved from age like whatever to whatever. Right?
Well, no, it wasn't preserved alone. It was preserved like on the field.
So here's what I'm asking is, do you go through phases where you're like into a certain type of porn and like you get online to like jerk off and you're like, yep, I'm going straight for big boobies or straight for, like, I'll just throw some examples because I go through phases. Like an early phase that I went through in college was goth porn. For whatever reason,
I don't.
I started digging goth chicks and started watching
Oh
goth.
no, I like goth chicks. I mean, I don't go through phases.
You don't.
This is what I do. I go on Pornhub, and they always have like new videos constantly uploading.
You always want to know what the next thing
So,
is.
well, I'll go down rabbit holes, but usually I just scroll, and whenever I see one that looks like, I click on it. I'm not that like complicated. I don't search at all.
No searching.
No searching.
You don't
no.
have any favorite
I'm not
models.
searching like Pogs or anything like that.
I didn't even
You know what that is?
I know what it is now.
Yeah,
but-
fat ass white girl.
Yeah, I think you guys might have been.
Yeah, oh yeah, we might have. But yeah, no, I don't search anything. I search nothing.
Oh boy.
I know what I don't like. Like I don't like I don't watch lesbian videos.
I don't either.
Maybe when I was younger I did, but now it's like I can't imagine myself in there if there's fucking two chicks. Like
I could watch
for
two
some
chicks
reason,
and a dude.
I don't think it's gay to have a penis in there. That's
No,
kinda,
you got. I think it's
kind of
important.
weird though.
I think
but,
it's
like,
important.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of weird though? That like maybe just because you're, I don't know.
No,
You want to see them doing the act that you
everybody
want.
everybody that's jerking off to porn is like 99.9% of us are pretending that like we don't even really see the guy. We're just
No, we don't even see. We see right through it. Yeah,
That's like it's like background noise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
right. But we're seeing the act that we want to see.
Correct.
So yeah, and so it has to have a penis in there. Like I'm not a lesbian, so like I don't want see lesbian acts because I can't like relate to them subconsciously.
The scissor vagina move doesn't do anything.
Oh, I like it.
No, I respect that they come up with we don't have this. We'll just rub our hushies together and something will
All
happen.
sorts of cool shit like that.
But like I don't like it either. It's not my go-to.
Yeah, no.
But I went through a goth porn phase.
I'll definitely click on goth sometimes.
There was a redhead. Always a redhead. I always break it down, whatever I'm in the mood for some reason. Like redheads.
You know what I freak out about?
Asians, Latinos.
I freak out about like I see like I go on there and there's thousands of chicks on there doing this. Like
It's crazy now.
where are they? Like
They're
in real life? Like you never know.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Like I met that girl.
There's so many of them doing porn.
I'm just saying, I met that girl at the grocery store.
Yeah.
She ended up being on OnlyFans, right?
Wow.
So I mean, they're just out there and living their lives, running around the world. But more and more people are starting to do it now too.
You know what they'll do? They'll have
And
contests where they can
couples.
bang fans.
Oh yeah, and
That's cool.
couples are doing it,
Right.
Like young couples. that,
People like couples because it's real sex. It's not like fake porn.
these
It's
people
like,
live together. Their
They're
relationship.
like seeing like real like passionate sex. That's cool.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Like there was a time when I was younger when like my whole like philosophy and style and everything has changed over the years. Like there was a time when I was younger that I couldn't even see any tattoos on a chick. I wouldn't like it.
Now it's
Like you could be completely covered in tattoos. I love it. Isn't that weird how that changes?
I mean, you change. Things
I guess
change.
I change. Things change.
Environments change.
Yeah.
I don't know who makes the rules.
I found some German chick on there who looks like my wife.
Oh yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird to see.
To jerk off to some chick that looks like the chick.
I showed her. I was like, "You got to see this." I was like, "This chick looks just like you." She's
I do
like,
that
"Oh
sometimes.
my god."
I do that sometimes.
What? You tell somebody they look like?
No, if there's a girl I'm dating, but like maybe I haven't done it with her yet, but I see a chick online that like looks like her, I'll be like, ooh.
No, but she looked just like her.
This
like,
might be what that's all about, you know?
Like at first, like I was like looked for her tattoos, like that looks like just my life. But she just spoke German, so I was like, yeah, Kings doesn't speak German, but yeah, pretty funny.
The last 2 years, it's been breast milk.
Wait a second.
Like women lactating
That's so
uncontrollably during intercourse.
You watch that?
Yeah, I have observed it.
I
on the regular.
I don't think I've ever
years.
even seen it. I think I just click by it so fast. You know
think-
what I click by fast too? It's like sometimes there's grannies, like it's all meshed together. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh Jesus Christ, I don't want to see that.
There's stuff you don't want
But
to
I can handle seeing anything. I can handle seeing dead bodies. So like I can handle anything I'm seeing.
I don't know if
I just don't like it.
I don't know if we can. It's tough to mash something in with the episode where you're going to get high because anything could happen. You could lose it, but I think you'd be all right. I think it'll actually.
Oh, I'm not going to lose it.
I think it'll enhance your ability to play the game. But we are going to do an episode where we were supposed to do it today, but Macka couldn't make it because of the move-in. We're going to do an episode like we talked about where we're going to sit here and just list out nicknames for private parts. But we'll focus on like.
Oh, I will crack up bad.
You'll lose it.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll focus on like, what do you want? You want to do boobies? Do you want to do ding dongs?
We should do everything.
No, we got to. I mean, there's so many names, dude. You could just stick with one part.
Yeah, I want to prep.
And then we
have like a
and
list of-
and also we could make it like a semi-regular part of the show where every like 3 months, quarterly, we'll drop a. We'll do ding dongs.
You know how many names for penis there must be?
Vivaces.
All the languages having their own slang words.
Yeah, and that's gonna be on the menu too.
It's probably thousands.
Like you could Pisciolini is Italian,
Pulaki.
and Pulaki is Greek. Those are game. You can use those on the list. So if you know names of
Pisciolini, it sounds like something little something.
Yeah,
like Pisciolini.
I think that's what it's supposed to say.
Yeah.
It's your little Pulaki is the same thing.
Your little Pulaki, yeah.
Well, Aki, I think at the end of a word, I don't speak Greek, unfortunately, which is nuts because I'm a linguist.
We were talking about that last night. My dad doesn't speak Greek either, and like
But
they should have. That you know.
Just based on some words that I have picked up, I think Aki at the end of a word denotes something being tiny or small or like kids.
Okay.
So like you say like, hey, to a kid, you say to a kid like, get your golaki out of here. It's like telling them to get their golo or their ass out of there, but it's tall. And pulaki actually I think means little bird, but it's like slang for a little boy's penis.
Oh.
And then
I thought it was like any penis.
no, I think, and then like other languages work that way too, like Spanish and Italian and
There's
stuff.
so many words. Pecker, ding dong. I mean, we should save it, but
No, I mean, there's so many you couldn't.
Let's do
could
penis
fill it
first.
whole. You want to do penises?
yeah, I think especially if I'm stoned that episode, that'd be so funny.
Johnson.
Yeah, we shouldn't go through it now because there's so many.
There's too many. All right,
Yeah.
so that's that. That's on the.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 goals between now and surgery. Are
Yeah.
the silly words for private parts episode, a Halloween episode, and we'll get you baked.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get surgery this week too for just one thing I have to take out. Like it's insane. Like I just did it the other day.
I can't wait till it's all done.
I know. I can't
I
wait.
know you can't wait either, but
It's painful. I have like nerves exposed and like.
I
You
think-
can just hear me right now. I can't even talk that good.
I think George Washington used to smoke.
He smoked weed. I heard.
Well, you hear about him having like wooden teeth and stuff, false teeth.
I've gone through the research on that. What he had.
So I think he had some serious teeth pain.
He had like one tooth left by the time he was president. One tooth.
Jesus. And so he had like wooden teeth.
He had wood at one point. They'd make him out of wood, but they'd carve him really good. And then later on, he had slave teeth. And then by the end of it, they slave teeth, which was like really white, perfect teeth.
I bet.
And then by the end of it, he had like teeth carved out of like elephant tusk.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ivory.
I imagine they would have fashioned them
Yeah,
out of like
and actually they were probably pretty
whale
good.
bones or something.
They were probably pretty good. He probably was never toothless in public.
It was just a lot of whaling.
And then like John Madison, or John Adams, he had like 3 teeth left, but he refused to wear a denture because he hated it so much. So he just walked around and just flaunted his teeth. He just uncomfortable for him. They're probably bulky back then. Like But like, seems like George Washington got by on one.
So what I'm saying is that everyone's always saying like, oh, he smoked weed and whatever. I think he might have smoked hemp, like CBD hemp.
Yeah, he might have.
For for his teeth pain, or
back then it must have been awful.
It could have just been weed.
What did you do back then? Like, did they give you like ether or something? Like, how did
opium?
Something like they got you fucked up and then they ripped the tooth out.
Opium's been around a long time.
But they were probably people who didn't have access to any drugs at all, so they would have to just get the teeth ripped out,
all the time.
All the time, just with no painkiller, nothing.
They boozed them up.
Well, I'm saying like peasants, like who didn't even have money for booze.
No, they had money for booze. Everybody had money for booze. They used to make your own booze. You made your own.
Yeah.
Believe me, Dan. Sobriety is not for everybody, okay?
Yeah.
The people like you guys that can do it.
Well, when I got my teeth surgery,
hats off.
When I got my implants, like that's one of the things that we talked about was that I can't get
opiates. Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna do it.
I can't take opiates. I'm completely immune to opiates. So I'll do. They said I'll be fine with Tylenol and Advil.
Well, I'm just telling you. Human beings have, since the day they figured out how to get intoxicated on whatever it was, mushrooms, plants, weed,
they've been using
booze, mead, people are doing...
people have been figuring out a way to do stuff the whole time. Even like in ancient Egypt, they used beeswax for like fillings. Like they weren't just like neglecting it. They had dentists and they had people for generations.
Beeswax is strong.
Yeah, so hundreds of years, like thousands of years, they had to deal with teeth issues. So somebody was doing it, not like today, but like they did something.
They didn't X-ray you, yeah. So no. All right. Well, hopefully in a few weeks, that's gonna be all done.
I hope so. Well, it'll be done in a year, but like in a few weeks, at least I'll have the infections gone and everything. You know what I mean?
I hope everyone's enjoying the roller coaster ride that is our podcast so far. And
if you have any ideas, let us know.
Hopefully next week the whole team's gonna be back together. But I think that's good for this week. So
yeah, a little quick episode for you guys.
We will catch everyone on the flip side.
Peace.